Hey guys, we have chapter 15, and it's basically just about hunger. Sorry I wasn't able to make it. I was in Paris, and apparently now the Paris is gone. So here's what we're going to be doing. The main objectives for the chapter is defining hunger, food insecurity, list two statistics regarding the global issue of hunger, listing two more regarding the issue of hunger in the United States, discuss two possible causes of hunger. I guess I'm back in Paris. Um, Identify four physical effects of chronic malnutrition, and discuss one idea from the chapter that may develop into a long term solution for the problem of global hunger. All right, here we go. All right, what is hunger, and basically why does it exist? Hunger is a physical need for food, means different things to different people. For example, food insecurity. You have the chronic inability to secure adequate amounts of nutritious foods to meet the needs. Okay, in 2004, there were 12% of households, 13.5 million households, where food was basically insecure inside the United States, and about 4.4 million were classified as hungry. Worldwide, I'd say about 2 billion food insecurity. The global food population basically exceeds the needs of the population. And here's just kind of an example. The spectrum of hunger, malnutrition, and food security. This is basically a level like 1 to 10 of where you want to be. 1 being, as you can see, the food security, and 10 being death. You don't want that. You have food insecurity, food security. I'm sorry, food insecurity, which is McDonald's, Taco Bell, Alberto's, Pizza Hut, all the good stuff that you don't want to eat. Then you have malnutrition. That's basically for those people with eating disorders, um, anorexia, bulimia, stuff like that. Then you have hunger, and which leads to famine, which eventually leads to my, less than alive friend over there. Okay. What we have next is looking at the numbers, state of hungers around the world. Um, More than 1.3 billion people living below the international poverty line, earning less than $1 a day. So they're really scrounging for food in essence. And I'm back in America again. Paris went bye bye. Okay. About 1 billion people regularly drink contaminated water. Um, Being from a lake, a well, really just anything. It could be sink water that can be contaminated. More than 840 million have difficulty obtaining adequate nutritious foods for themselves and their families. So add that in with with the water. It's just not good. More than 40% of women in the developing world are anemic, and about 25% of children in those developing worlds have insufficient vitamin A reserves. Currently, 3% of the world's population is classified as famished. Okay, here's just a map of developed, developing, and undeveloped countries around the world. You have developed countries, basically us in North America, country in South America, a lot of Europe, basically all of Europe, and then Australia. The developing countries, the countries that are catching up, Mexico, South America, excuse me. Um, then we have the entire Asian continent and parts of Africa. I'm sorry, and then the underdeveloped countries is all basically pertained to the middle of Africa. All right. So moving on. Basically, what causes hunger? I love going back and forth to and from Paris. Domestic hunger often caused by poverty, illness, or lack of opportunity. Lack of opportunity in those underdeveloped worlds is probably more than likely the main one. Poverty. 12% of the U.S. population is at or below the poverty level. Um, 13,200 a year for married couples on a single mother or with a single mother with a child. The working poor was 7.4 million in 2003. If you work full time, at least 27 weeks of a year, but can still be below poverty level. Obesity among food insecure is common. Less nutritious foods can be less expensive and higher in calories. McDonald's, all those fast food chains that are really good and really cheap. What causes hunger? We have chronically ill or disabled. Are less likely to have a steady income and at risk for a poor diet. You get what you can afford to survive. They have increased risk for further illnesses. Drug and alcohol abuse is also common causes of poverty, hunger, and homelessness. Mental illness, among other common causes of poverty, malnutrition, hunger, and homelessness. Often difficult to reach counsel or help because most of the time those people don't want help, and and you can only help those people who want to be helped. Okay. Hunger in the United States. Rates of food insecurity. You have very high in Texas, New Mexico, Alabama, and from the looks of it, South Carolina. That's that. Uh, oh, I'm sorry. It's not Alabama. It's Mississippi. That's my bad. um, yeah. So we have high moderates. 12 to 15%. California, basically the Western board, and moderate. You guys can look at the map, but you're walking down the street. In California, you kind of see the rates of it. Um, Moving on, the downward steps of poverty and hunger. If you have lack of food, then you have fatigue, apathy, and no ambition. And that leads to weight loss and compromised health and disease, which will lead to anemia, and that'll lead to decreased growth, followed by malabsorption in the GI tract and loss of muscle mass. So you'll be bedridden basically. Is the main point. But yeah, comparing two shopping lists, right here, uh, Boston Supermarket. I'm more of an Albertsons kind of guy. You have frozen waffles, syrup, fruit punch. Look at that price compared to the healthy shopping list of cereal, 10 ounces, skim milk, orange juice. Look at really those price differences. It's not really surprised that people buy the cheaper foods rather than the more expensive and healthy foods. God bless fresh and easy, to be completely honest. So yeah, that's my part. So I couldn't be here in class. I had court. So take care, and here's the rest of my group.